Man, I really just gotta move on.
Hey there, Kong.
Hello, Skullcrawler.
You look down the dumps. What's wrong?
Where do I even begin, Skullcrawler? Despite what everyone tells me being unique, me being my own person, me having my own unique powers, quote unquote, it just always feels like, you know, I can never have the one thing that, well, I desire most.
What's that?
My home.
What are you talking about? This is your home.
Well, it wasn't always like that. Remember, this is Bird and Monster Island. They don't even mention two other islands that are merged in this place.
What are you talking about?
Well, how do I say this? A long time ago, Bird and Monster Island were separate islands. You know, one had the birds, the other had the monsters. I was on a third island, Skull Island, and the pigs were on Piggy Island. Each of those islands were on their own unique tectonic plates, and there was one tectonic plate that was completely separating the other four. However, when an earthquake happened, that tectonic plate gave way, and all four islands ended up merging together, creating Bird and Monster Island. I completely witnessed my entire world change before my eyes. I had no say in it, I had no way to combat it, I just had to accept it. But by that time, my entire family was wiped out, and I was the last of my kind. I had nobody except little skullcrawlers who tried to kill me and other species who I was slowly running out of food. I was the top of the food chain, but I was starving so much that I had to eat, and I ate so much. Luckily, when all three other islands merged with mine, that gave me more people to interact with, which I'm eternally grateful, but every time I keep thinking that I'll go back home, I know that I am home. I can never go back to where my island truly was because it's merged. It's become part of a smoothie. Once you mix two fruits or more in, it doesn't become the fruit anymore. It becomes something new. I know it's been few thousand years since that whole ordeal happened, but I would kill just to have it back. My old home for one more day.
Well, why would you want your old home if there was no one else there?
That's the thing. I don't want my home back. I want my family back. My parents were wiped out by your kind. And while I am, subject to being friends with you, I love you, you're my bro. But I just can't help but remember that one day, that one meeting I had with them. I don't know if I had brothers, sisters, or even any other relatives. All I just remember seeing is their dead corpses lying on the ground filled with slash marks and bite marks. All because they were wiped out against their own will. Had I been this size when that whole ordeal happened, guarantee things would have been different, but they aren't. And I have no way of changing that. My parents are gone for good, and my entire species is wiped off the face of the earth. The only thing I have now is my clones, and even then they're just clones. They can just be easily erased. They can pop away like balloons, and I don't mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. That's how clones work. Sometimes I just have to wonder, why me? Why must I have to grow up with so much pain and suffering, both mentally, emotionally, and physically? I choose not to show it, but I have so much to say after hundreds and thousands of years of living through this. Godzilla has been dealing with this all of his life too, but he sucks it up. I don't know how much more I can take.
Well, think of it this way, Kong. I would never ever wish any sort of pain or pressure like that on anybody, ever. And especially you, Losing everything that you knew, your own original home, your entire family, your species. I couldn't imagine that. I know for a fact I'm not the last of my own kind because, well, I know for a fact that there are other skull crawlers. I just still have yet to meet them. But look at what you have now. I think you're just focusing on what you've lost rather than what you've gained. You lost so much, but look at the family you've built now. You literally are now friends, brothers in arms in a way with the own arch rival, Godzilla, his friends Red, Chuck, Bomb, Matilda, his own wife Mothra. Think of what you've gained rather than what you've lost. Because if you focus on the past, are you making that your future? If the past really mattered, it would be the present. But guess what? You can choose something, Kong. You can choose whether to focus on your past and make your past your future, or learn from the past and think of what you've done in the past to accelerate yourself into the future and focus purely on the future. Think about that, Kong.
You know what? I really need to hear something like that. Skullcrawler, I've never done this to a Skullcrawler before, but can I have a hug?
Can I even hug? I mean, I don't really have back legs.
Okay, come on, your legs will do fine.
Yeah, they will.
Ah, thank you.
You're welcome, Kong. You know, I kind of like hugging.
This is your first hug, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.